My name's Clive Hall. I work for a company called Indestinate. We're actually, maybe you've never heard of us, we're actually based in Manchester, and we specialise in digital development and in particular in location and tourism activities. So I'm going to just go through the actual digital interpretation product app platform, whichever terminology you want to call it, that we're developing. Unfortunately, we're just 2 weeks too early today. In 2 weeks' time, I would have actually shown you the real thing. But we have been working on it since January. But I'll crack on and go through what we're doing. Just to give you some outcomes here, what we were looking to do is, in essence, everything that we do through digital always has some top-level outcomes. And on this project, it is to increase visitor numbers into the locality. Now, that sounds very easy to do. Obviously, it is not. So this product, when it's launched, really does have to be something very special to get consumers to recommend and actually want to come and use it. So that was one of our challenges. Second is to create heritage interpretation. Now, once again, that sounds quite easy. If we go to a museum, we can see lots of photographs. But being straight with you, that can get a little boring if you're going to spend all day just looking at photographs on a mobile phone. So we've really had to look hard to actually get some fantastic experiences for people, so they'll really want to engage with this product when they're here. And also, we've had to work out the best way of delivering it. Andy mentioned Wi-Fi. Up a valley in a field that used to be a coal mine, not much Wi-Fi there. So we've really had to look at how we're going to deliver this through technology. Technology is fantastic, but a lot of the time you need connection. So we've had to overcome those issues, and I'll talk you through how we've done those as we go through the presentation. When we're going through the technology options then, right at the beginning of the project, which we kicked off in January, we had a number of meetings, and one of those, for example, was, well, why can't we use mobile web there? Another one was, why do we have to have an app? What is the best way of actually delivering maps and lists and all of those sorts of things? And also, there's a big debate on what social applications, integrations we can do. So we presented this concept, and we could have gone down mobile web, but we have connection issues. We could have gone down an app, which we actually have, and I'll come on to, obviously, throughout why we've done that. Augmented reality, quick show of hands, does anybody really know what augmented reality is? We're about half. Fantastic. I'll explain in a bit more later on why we've gone down the augmented reality route, because there's some distinct benefits there. And then social looked an easy win, but actually there's some complications in social, and that will apply to all businesses, so I'll explain for what we've done there as well. The must-have, we have to have through this project fantastic user interaction. Through all of the projects we've done before, if we don't get the user to interact, not just give them content, but actually interact with the product itself, then they will not come back and use it, and they will not recommend. Recommendation is crucial when we're using apps. Apps are hidden. They are away. They can't see them. There is no physical product. We need to get that word-of-mouth recommendation moving forward. Interestingly, we can't guarantee this, but we have set out from day one to be award-winning. If we win an award, we will appear in the Telegraph, we will appear in the Guardian, we will appear across many blogs. So getting those awards, or even just entering them, is crucial. So we've designed this to make sure we can at least enter awards for both tourism and mobile marketing, because it helps with the PR of the project. Wow factor. Many of us are used to now being digital. This really does have to stand out and we've created a product that people will look at it and go, we've never seen this before, we've never done this before. And that is quite difficult to achieve. And we are using leading edge technology and design. Leading technology means it will exclude some people. This product has been designed to work on the latest mobile phones. For example, on Android, that could cut out over half of the market as we speak today, but it's got to have longevity. It can't just work for this month, it's got to work for next year, the year after, and the year after that. So we have actually designed it to work on the very latest mobile platforms. You can't really see this, which is quite thankful, because it's actually Nick from North Wales here, an app there, which is a walking app. What we didn't want to do, we don't want lists. This design of app has been around for 5, 6 years now. Lists, people have to read them, they have to look down. If they're out on an activity, we want them looking up, we want them involved in their locality. So we didn't do lists. Text, you may read it for 20 seconds. After that, you're not going to carry on reading. So there is very little text in this product, if at all. There are only little instructions. All of the content is delivered in a better way. Maps, once again, fantastic if you've got connection, useless if you don't, because they just become a printed map in a digital format. So we binned all of that. We didn't want any of that in our application. Having said that, there are 2 areas that do have maps. One is where the business listings are, and the other is something called GeoPast, which I'll come on to later on. So what did we go through? We did choose an app. Because it's embedded on the phone, it enables us to make sure all of the experiences can be saved onto someone's phone so they do not need connection. One of the other big decisions we made on this project was we canned the principle that you have to keep downloading content. You will download it once and it will be there. So you can go up the field and you can get the full experience. That means you've got to have a decent phone to save all of the content onto it. And you also need Wi-Fi, so we have been working to create Wi-Fi locations where people can go to download it. We've gone for Apple and Android as a platform. We have not gone for Windows. The reason why we've not gone for Windows is because we chose augmented reality. The great thing about augmented reality is we do not need maps. If you put your phone up there, a little arrow will point you to where you need to go, so people can be visually looking all of the time without having to follow a map round. So we've chosen that. We've chosen the latest augmented reality platform, which is a company called Wikitude. Wikitude does not work on Windows. Okay, so we are at the leading edge of technology here, but there are some constraints. Social, what we went through there was you've got Twitter, Facebook, as you say, Flickr and Pinterest. The key thing there was that if you produce an app and you have social in it, you need to have moderation, or you need to have some controls. And also you need to be able to integrate into those platforms. Those 4 are the best to integrate into. Gamification then. What we want to do is to bring the interaction straight into the palm of a hand. We've actually, I won't spoil some of my presentation slides later, but we've got a significant amount of things that people can do through the phone, using the phone, as opposed to just giving them text content. And finally, everything is audio and visual. Because people want to listen and view, they do not want to read when they're doing these activities. That was a big challenge for us to get to that, but everything throughout the whole project is there. So, connection, how have we overcome that? You download it in one go. Interaction, as I say, we've gone to augmented reality and gamification. And then content, we did spend 3 months researching the content and writing it. Now the content is written into experiences as opposed to just points of interest. You will go through a set of experiences, and there's actually 17 in there. So instead of just being about a castle, it's about all the gory bits of the castle. There's a whole story that you can follow through. So you'll start at a point and then work your way around, but you just won't go to point of interest and find out about that point. It's an immersive experience that we've done. Okay, some things in numbers. There are 6 hubs there where you'll start, and you can see them listed underneath, covering the whole of the county. You can see here there is 16 hours of content. I'll repeat that, 16 hours of content in this app. So you couldn't even do it if you did it full time for 2 days. It is designed to bring people back time and time and time again. I don't believe there's a single application in the market for tourism that has that much audio-visual content in it. 17 experiences as described. In there are 31 app games right across the 17 experiences. That's 31 deep points of interaction with the user. 180 points of interest going across all of the experiences. 300 videos. So this is a big piece of work we've done here. So people don't have to read anything. They can watch, they can listen, they can play, they can interact. This is some of the design work we've come up with. You'll notice, to my point, there's no list there. There's no wording there. It's all icon navigation. You'll see all the imagery, very contemporary even though it's heritage. It's impactful, and it's actually got a bit of mystery. We've actually taken the digital bytes bit and taken bytes of images. You actually can't quite recognize what it is, and that's purposeful. We want people to be right at the beginning of these intrigued that want to go out, so they will go out and do what they're doing. It's dramatic and it's also designed to be stimulating. This design, look and feel, I can guarantee you won't get a single heritage application in Wales that's got this design, feel and look. We've spent a lot of time making sure that we meet our objectives. Going into the experiences then, you can start to see that there's, I'll read those, you can't, they're a bit blurred. Coity Castle is the bottom row middle. No picture of a castle there. There's elements of a castle, and there's mixed into those images, there's parts of the experiences and stories that you're going to do. But there's a bit of mystery there. But once again, very impactful, very dynamic photography. As I say, you will not navigate this app at all using a map. You have to be in location, it's all GPS located, and the augmented reality will take you through where you're going. You'll never get lost, but you don't actually have to keep looking down and see where you are. It's all done through the visual element, the camera within the phone. Into the gamification then. Hopefully some of you might know about a dipping bridge somewhere. When this came through, I was like, what, we're talking about dipping bridges? You know. So instead of just writing about dipping bridge, you probably can't see it at the top there. I don't know whether my mouse is working now. There's a little white splodge at the top piece there. That sheet moves along. You've got to push it through the hole, into the water. You can't quite see it, but there's a hook right at the bottom left-hand corner that comes out. You've got to hook the sheep, and it goes on to the other side. And you can see the number of sheep that you've got there, okay? That is one experience bringing history to life. As I say, there's 30 others like this. So these are proper in-app games. They're not basic things, but we believe the experience will be so fantastic that all generations will tell others to go and do this experience. This one, a bit more traditional, let's say, but what you've got to do in that mosaic there, you've got to find all of those different things. Obviously, it's on the phone, so there's a time barrier, and you've got to find the camera and click on it, and it will all add across. This one I really like, which I didn't realise, the chapels in Wales are flat pack. They were all built as flat pack. It was a forerunner to IKEA. IKEA didn't know it, but it was. So we created a game where you get your little parts, and you've got to build your chapel. We've cut in cardboard. Bit disrespectful to the actual real chapels, because our cardboard one wouldn't last as long. But once again, it's bringing that type of story to life so people remember it. Now here, which is actually Porthcawl, I think quite relevant, is that you see the little circle, there's a ship there, and it moves across, and you've got to move your lighthouses to make sure the ship doesn't run on the rocks. The history is ships ran on the rocks, okay? You've got to get across to the green as quickly as possible. So we tell the experience, and then we let people play it and see how difficult and easy it is to do. As I say, these run throughout the whole application. Now, another element that we've done is something, we've not quite agreed on this, but I'm calling it GeoPast. What we wanted to be able to do, if you didn't want just an experience, we wanted people to be able to go throughout the whole county and actually start to see what used to be there through imagery. So literally you put your phone up there, and this is one of the elements that does have a map, because otherwise you wouldn't actually quite know where things are. So you can see a map, you can flip it over and then back into the augmented reality, and then you'll be able to click on images and slide them across. So you can see what it used to be and slide them back. This element is interactive in the essence that all of you can go and put your own images up and pin them up there, so all users then can use them. So we've opened that up, so there's a website that you can go in, upload, put in your comments, geolocate them, and then it will appear after it's been moderated and published. So that gives us the ability to put heritage and history right across the county, even in this location. If you have an old picture of 1952, people coming to here, we can pin it on through the app. Quite an interesting one here. We've spent 6 months building all these experiences, but what we wanted to do, particularly, was get schools involved. So we've built, or building, which will come out in August, the ability for schools to build their own trails. Now these aren't simple, point 1, point 2, point 3. Once again, we've actually started to look in detail here. So we can actually create whole storylines, we can create characters, we can create roles, we can give people tasks. Obviously we can add content. So you can actually have a process where you can go and talk to a character, answer a few questions, and depending on how you answer them, you'll go off and do different things. So it's quite an involved process. We're doing that through web, but we are building, and these will be published through this application. So they can either be published privately or publicly. So a school can make its own place, or anywhere. Even this location could have people doing it as a recreation thing and go off and do their trails, and then you can publish it to your friends. Additional content then, as I say, we've got all the social feeds will be coming in. People can actually share through Facebook, Twitter, all of the normal stuff. And the final part, there are business listings in there for tourism, so people will actually be able to find other businesses. They're placed on a map and they are visible through the augmented reality as well. Launch, if we can all keep our fingers crossed, September 2014. In 2 weeks, week and a half, we're on site testing all of this work. During August, we'll refine it and it will be live in September.